For staying with the Democratic Alliance, we're now joined by our colleague Natasha Phiri. Natasha, a very good morning to you. Day two, the party faces a very critical crossroads that will charter its course for next year's elections. What is your take on the conference so far?
Definitely, Desiree, day two and the final day of the Congress. We're just less than 3 hours away from knowing who the leader of the official opposition will be. Will it be John Steenhuisen or will it be Mbali Ntuli? But overall, I think the conference, according to my view, has actually run smoothly. It's the first of its kind, Desiree. Never has a political party in the history of South Africa had a virtual elective conference where over 2,000 delegates actually participated in. So it was quite interesting. But I mean, just as a journalist, having covered other political rallies and political elective conferences, indeed, this is a first of its kind. I think we're so used to, as journalists, seeing, party brokering between party delegates and party members, also gauging the mood on the ground, seeing who's going to win, who's going to take that top position. But unfortunately, this time around, we've seen less of that. But I mean, also just taking you to social media and the reactions that we've been seeing under the hashtag DA Congress and what people had to say earlier on throughout this morning. I'd put out a tweet asking people on social media, on Twitter, as to who they think will take this title of federal leader of the DA. And there's been a lot of mixed reactions on social media, but more reactions coming out saying that it is quite obvious that John Steenhuisen, the incumbent leader of the party, will be elected as the DA federal leader. But other people as well saying that they would like to see Mbali Ntuli actually taking up that top position, saying that her politics will be new to the party and South Africa. She'll be probably the youngest leader to actually take over the reins if elected as DA leader. So just mixed reactions coming in on social media. Just in terms of today, what we saw earlier on today, we saw the DA interim leader John Steenhuisen giving his report of the party and the state of the party, addressing delegates from 9 o'clock. And basically what stood out for me, he had conceded that the DA had actually done bad. It was a bad year for the DA last year. Also saying that the goal from now on is actually to focus on the local 2021 government elections that are taking place next year. Also, they want to put a focus and a highlight on local municipalities. We know that the November 11th by-elections will be taking place in those 96 wards across the country in 56 municipalities. He had also said that although the DA, yes, has come from a bad year, there's always a silver lining, and this is time for the party to reflect and move forward. He'd also said and taken a swipe at the media quite interestingly. If you'll remember yesterday, he did the same, Desiree, but he had said that as a party, they can neither throw their hands in the air nor complain about the unfair treatment in the press. I don't know if this is correct. I think the viewers will be the judge of that. But of course, as usual, also lambasting the ANC-led government, saying that the DA is the only alternative and the only political vehicle to lead the country into change. But currently, what's been happening so far, as from around 9:30, and it will go on until around 1:20, if I'm correct, is the issue of the resolutions. It's currently a discussion and debate about these resolutions. Now, what's interesting is that individual members are actually, raising and proposing the party's resolutions, and that's why it's taking such a long time. You've got various members debating, discussing different resolutions, such as crime. We've heard that they want the police minister, they want powers to be taken from him. They claim that he's incompetent as his role and as minister of police there. They want an end to farm murders and farm attacks. They've also passed resolutions around protecting and expanding private property rights to ensure sustainable land reform that was proposed by John Steenhuisen. They want to cut the public sector wage bill to help stabilize public finances. And an interesting one here is the outlaw of cadre deployment, which they say leads to corruption. So this will happen up until 1:20 this afternoon. There'll be a short break, and then at 2:00, the federal leader of the DA will be announced alongside the other positions, Desiree, positions of the chairperson, federal council chairperson, deputy chairperson of federal council, deputy federal leader, deputy federal chairperson, I beg your pardon on that. These names are all confusing, and the federal finance chairperson as well. So those, candidates will be announced at 2:00. So I think South Africans and DA members are actually waiting with bated breath to see what actually comes out of this conference. And this will be an opportunity for the DA to chart a way forward, seeing that the local government elections are taking place next year.
Natasha, you've gone through most of those resolutions, but one that I found quite interesting here is a resolution that was passed. We resolve to end farm attacks and murders. What are your thoughts about this resolution and the conversations that went into getting to this place where they actually resolved about it?
Well, definitely a very interesting resolution, Desiree. And this comes at a time where, farm attacks and farm murders have been highlighted within the country. I mean, we saw 2 weeks ago, another opposition party, the EFF, had gone to the town of Senekal in the Free State, just shutting the town of Senekal down. We've seen, farm owners also coming out saying that enough is enough with farm attacks and farm murders. And it's quite interesting that the DA actually takes this resolution at such a time like this. We also saw the Federal Council Chair Helen Zille also in Senekal. So, I mean, this resolution is actually passed at a time where, the issue of farm attacks and farm murders is actually being put on the spotlight in the country. But also this highlights the racial tensions as well within the farming communities. I mean, you have both farm owners who are either black or white who are actually getting murdered. But, hopefully moving forward from this conference, the DA will be more clear on this matter.
Natasha, from the political desk, do we know how the African National Congress and the EFF are responding to events at the Democratic Alliance Congress? Are they interested at all? Are they showing any reaction?
Well, from the ANC side, it seems as if, Desiree, the ANC is busy with, their door-to-door campaigns, gearing up for the November 11th by-elections that are taking place. From the EFF, we've seen quite a number of reactions. Quite an interesting tweet that I saw yesterday from Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi wishing Balintuli well for this conference, but also highlighting that, listen, she's gone up against a huge system, a system of white people, as many would say, but also wishing her luck there. We've seen the EFF leader, or the CIC of the EFF, Julius Malema, on Monday saying that they don't expect much coming out of this conference. They had predicted that John Steenhuisen will win, and in the words of Julius Malema, he had said that this is an indication that the DA, or Helen Zille in his own words, will consolidate white racist votes. So those are, various political parties or reactions from the political party, mainly from the EFF. So far, I haven't seen anything from ANC leaders in as much as the DA Congress.
All of the analysts we have been speaking to literally say John has got this one in the bag with all things considered. But in any race, it's never over until it's over. Do we know if there's any last-minute efforts in Bali's camp to try and strengthen their case? Or is it too late now?
Desiree, indeed, it's never over until the fat lady sings. But I mean, these are resounding sentiments that we've been hearing from various political analysts, saying that the incumbent John Steenhuisen actually does have the upper hand. Some have even said that Mbali Ntuli is actually too young to chart and to take the DA to different heights. Others have expressed that there might be a chance that Mbali Ntuli will actually take over the reins of the top position of the DA, but only time will tell. I think what's quite unfortunate right now is that this conference is actually virtual. So, I mean, last minute brokerings really can't take place right now because a lot of people, a lot of delegates will actually be voting or have voted online, because we have been told that over 90% of those DA delegates have actually voted for their preferred candidate. But I mean, varying views from analysts, some saying that both are actually experienced and both have worked their way up within the ranks of the party, and both candidates actually have what it takes to actually lead the DA. Some saying that Mbali has never led on a national level, but only has led on a provincial level. She was the former DA youth leader, but she brings a lot of vibrancy. She brings a lot of energy, to the DA. And her being, if elected as the federal leader of the party, would be a first of its kind. It would be throwing her into the deep end, as we've seen previous leaders like Musi Maimane and like Lindiwe Mazibuko. So it'll be quite interesting, actually, for us to find out who will be federal leader when the time comes at 2:00. But these are just the varying views. Others have said that John Steenhuisen has enough experience. He's led the party on a national level. He was the former leader in KZN of the caucus, the former provincial leader. He served as a DA chief whip. He served in the National Assembly of the party, and he has a much more advantage over Mbali Ntuli.
And quickly, just to wrap the hour, let's just remind our viewers, we've got 2:10 as the announcement time. Is that what you have as well?
Definitely, Desiree. 20 past 2, I beg your pardon, that announcement will come. Hopefully, the debate and the discussion around resolutions will then conclude speedily. But for all those SABC viewers who are keen and interested on this DA elective Congress, and who are keen as to know who the leader of the official opposition will be, should stay glued to SABC News. And of course, we will give you the latest and update you as to who will be elected as the leader of the official opposition.